Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great New Year's. Mine was pretty good. I just stayed home with my boyfriend here and had some chicken wings and jalapeno poppers and lots of 40 Creek whiskey. So it was a pretty good New Year's. My boyfriend was unfortunately sick, so we couldn't have anyone over because we didn't want to infect anyone. I had my flu shot, so I'm good. But anyways, I'm going to be reviewing for you tonight The Lone Ranger, starring Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp. So there it is. Oops. There we go. So this is The Lone Ranger. This film got pretty lousy reviews overall. It got a couple of good reviews, but I think a lot of people didn't get it. The thing you have to remember with The Lone Ranger is it's a very campy movie, but it's deliberately campy. I never saw the original Lone Ranger show on TV, so I can't really compare this to anything else. But this is a pretty campy movie, and deliberately so. So I think people were expecting it to be a little more serious or a little more grounded, but it really isn't. It's just a really overblown kind of fun action-adventure. And Johnny Depp here plays Tonto, the Indian. He has this like crow on his head. He was great as Tonto, which of course is the Lone Ranger's sidekick. His Indian accent is kind of exaggerated. Everything about his character is kind of exaggerated. But he's really cool. When the Lone Ranger first meets him, it's at the beginning of the movie. There's this, outlaw named Butch Cavendish, and he's on board this train, and Tonto has been arrested, and he's on the same train with Butch Cavendish. He was arrested, just because he's an Indian. And basically, the Lone Ranger's brother, he's not the Lone Ranger at the beginning of the movie, but he has to, tries to put a stop to this train heist that happens. All of Butch Cavendish's men come and raid the train to set him free. And his brother is among them. He's a Texas Ranger, Lone Ranger's brother. And so the film begins with this great big huge epic action sequence on board this train with the Lone Ranger and Tonto. They become chained together, as you can see here. And they basically have no choice but to work together right from the beginning of the film. And the relationship develops, as the movie goes on. But what turns him into the Lone Ranger is, I think this is true in the show too, that he's riding with his brother and all his brother's men, all the Texas Rangers, and they're trying to take out Butch Cavendish's gang. But there's this ambush that happens, and there's going to be spoiler alerts in this, so beware if you haven't seen it. But what happens is they kill all the Texas Rangers, and Butch Cavendish murders his brother, and basically cuts out his heart and eats it. So, and after that, there's this whole thing that happens where, the Lone Ranger's brought back from the dead by Tonto, and the spirit horse, Silver, is introduced. And they just basically go on this adventure together to find Butch Cavendish. And there's also this whole story about the railroad being built by this corrupt politician. And he's trying to create a deliberate war between the, the Apache Indians and the white settlers. And basically, they took all this silver from the Indians' land and slaughtered all the Indians that were there. And this corrupt politician, I can't remember his name in the movie, but he's a pretty snaky and despicable guy. And all the silver is basically blood money, right? So Lone Ranger, they're trying to get Butch Cavendish, and they're also trying to get this corrupt politician who may or may not be working for Butch Cavendish. So, and there's also this character played by Helena Bonham Carter. She runs a whorehouse. Her name's Red, and she's got a fake leg with a gun in it. She's a pretty cool character. I really liked her too. As far as Armie Hammer playing the Lone Ranger in this, I thought he was really cool. You know, he's a very tall guy. He's very muscular. I think he has a look for the Lone Ranger. His acting's pretty good in this. Like I said, it's a very deliberately campy movie. You really can't take it seriously. But I think he looks good as a Lone Ranger. He looks great in the mask and the hat. And the horse Silver in this is such a beautiful horse. I mean, I think it's an albino horse. It looks like an albino horse. But the horse kind of has supernatural powers. There's parts where the horse appears on the roof at one point, and it's like you're wondering how the heck did it get up there. So it's kind of hinted that this horse, you know, has magical powers. So, and the Lone Ranger rides his horse across the train in one part, and then in another scene he's riding across the rooftops. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, the movie's very action-packed. It opens with a big train sequence, and it also closes with a big train sequence as well. And both scenes are awesome. Like, the action in this is so fast-paced, so exciting. And at the big train sequence at the end, what I loved about it was it's basically a runaway train full of that corrupt silver that politician has been, you know, trying to exploit. And it's like a runaway train kind of scene, and it's just really crazy. And Tonto in this, you know, Johnny Depp, he does so many stunts in this. He's like, he's such an amazing, like, action hero in this too, Tonto, as well as the Lone Ranger, of course. And he really stood out in this, of course, as he does in every movie, Johnny Depp. And I thought he was wonderful as Tonto. You learn Tonto's whole backstory in this, how he became Tonto. You know, in his own way, he was corrupted by the silver too. You know, he showed these two white men where they could find the beginning of the river where all the silver was. And he didn't know that they were going to slaughter his whole village, but that's what ends up happening. And the crow he wears on his head kind of represents the spirits of all his ancestors that died. So I thought that was really cool. They showed his backstory in this and why he's like kind of a little kooky too, Tonto. He kind of lost his mind after that. But he's still a very good person in his heart, but he has his own agenda and his own vengeance to seek in this, so. The guy playing Butch Cavendish in this was pretty despicable. I can't remember his name. I'm not sure who it is on here, but Barry Pepper, I believe. I think that's who it is. But, you know, he has this big scar across his lip, and he's really despicable. Like, he's cannibalistic. He's just a really low piece of work. Not really that scary so much, but just despicable. So, what else can I say about this? You know, there's a bit of a dramatic thing going on in this, you know. There's a woman in it who is married to the Lone Ranger's brother, but after he's killed, she starts to fall for the Lone Ranger. She has a young son, and there's a whole dramatic thing that happens between them. The dramatic parts of this movie don't really work that well. It's kind of too campy for that. But if you just take this film for what it is, it's a really campy, just overblown adventure, which is basically what it is, and it's very enjoyable, I think. I love this movie. I'm entertained every time I watch it, so. Yeah, what else can I say about this? The cinematography is pretty stunning, you know. It really captures the Wild West pretty well. All the costumes and the way it looks. Like I said, it is very overblown, especially the way Tonto looks. You know, he doesn't look like your typical Indian, that's for sure. But pretty much all the looks of the costumes and everything is very accurate, I think. Although some parts are exaggerated. It has influences from a lot of, you know, Wild West films, including all the films with Clint Eastwood. And, you know, it's not a totally original film by any means. The story's not all that original, you know, it's just this corrupt guy trying to steal silver, and they have to put a stop to him, and this, you know, so I guess a lot of people complained that the story wasn't really that original, but, I don't know, I just love this movie for what it is. I think it's very entertaining, and, and, I don't think there's really anything much more I can say about this. You know, you might like it, you might not. It depends on what kind of movies you're into and what you would expect from this. But if you haven't seen it yet and you want a really awesome adventure movie to watch, I think it's pretty good. Very entertaining, very action-packed. You know, a little slow around the middle, but other than that, it's pretty damn good, I think. Oh, one thing I'll mention about this is the level of violence in it is, for a Disney film in particular, is pretty extreme. Especially the one part where he's, Butch Cavendish is cutting out the heart of the Lone Ranger's brother and eats it. It doesn't directly show it, but it's still pretty gory, just the implication of it. And also, just the amount of people that get killed in this movie is pretty extreme. There's a big battle between the white settlers and the Apache Indians, where they basically, like I said, there's spoilers in this, but they all get killed. It's a big slaughter. And when they shoot each other, yeah, it's bloody. Like, it shows realistically what it's like when you shoot a person. So, for a Disney film, it's quite violent. I was surprised by the level of violence in it. I'm not opposed to violence, so it really didn't bother me. But just beware if you have young children, you know. You might want to, you know, shield them from it a little bit. Anyone over the age of 10 should be fine with this, but really young toddlers probably should not see this movie. You know, it would probably be too violent for them. And as well as that, there's more sexual innuendos than what you would expect in a Disney film as well. There's no sex in it, no nudity or anything like that. But there is definitely a lot of sexual innuendos in this, like sexually suggestive kind of stuff. So, including a couple of scenes where, you know, Butch Cavendish is trying to seduce the woman in this that the Lone Ranger is in love with. So just beware of that if you have young children. So... But overall, it's a pretty good movie. I'd give it about a 4 out of 5. Well, I don't usually rate movies, but, you know, I'll rate this one just because, you know, the critics overall did not give it very good reviews. So I thought I would just give you my own opinion of what I think the review should be. And, you know, in my opinion, I think it gets 4 out of 5. So let me know if you agree or disagree with what I said in the comments below. But yeah, I think it's just a great summer well, it wasn't a blockbuster, it didn't do well, but I don't know why it wasn't a blockbuster, I'm not sure. But, it's a great film that came out in the summer and just came out on DVD, so there's my review on The Lone Ranger. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all again in a few days. Alright, have a good night. Bye-bye.